Years since Argyle faced Stoke City here in the league, and they're the latest side to face us here in the fortress that is Home Park.
Mosey has got away from Hopkins. Gallen has made a good little run into the middle there. Mosey goes down, penalty. So Sylvan Eubanks-Blake with the penalty.
Marshall hits it across off the line.
Well, in that time since they last faced each other, of course, the Potters have spent a decade in the Premier League, whilst Argyle, well, they've taken best part of 13 years to get back to this point here today in the Championship. But of course, another win here at home today would allow Argyle to leapfrog their opponents in the table. Hello. Good afternoon, welcome to our match day coverage here on Argyle TV. My name is Alex Wood, and this is the pre-match show here on Argyle TV before kick-off at 3 p.m. this afternoon. It's the first weekend, isn't it, of December. It is cold and it is crisp, but of course we're hoping that the action here on the pitch today can warm us through. Argyle, they're unbeaten since the start of October. They take on a Stoke side who I think it's fair to say are struggling at the moment, just one in their past 5 games. Of course, you can follow all of the action here on Argyle TV today. Overseas supporters, you can stream this fixture for just £10, whilst UK-based fans will be able to get their audio match pass from £2.50. All of the details can be found on the website. But joining me here, hoping to stay warm on the pitch, of course, Katie Middleton, former Argyle women's captain. Katie, you looking forward to it today?
Yeah, it should be a good game. I think it's two sides who've had a little bit of indifferent form, I guess, over the last couple of matches. So it should be a competitive game and in front of another packed out Home Park. So, yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And we referred to Home Park as a bit of a fortress, didn't we, at the start of the show? And it has been so far for the season. Away form, not so much for Argyle. Of course, disappointing result on Tuesday, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think probably the quality from both sides actually was not very good on Tuesday night. Obviously, Argyle potentially unfortunate to not come away with anything from the game. But they'll be looking to put that right today. Another opportunity, like we say here at Home Park, where generally speaking, performances have been good. So, yeah, hopefully we'll get a positive result today.
And last week, of course, at home against Sunderland, the cracking result for the lads, wasn't it? More of the same today, do you think, for Schumacher and the side?
Yeah, definitely. And I think that was one of the things that was lacking on Tuesday night, was that kind of cutting edge going forwards. And we gave the ball away easily. So today it'll be certainly a case of trying to maintain possession as much as we can, looking to get those influential players on the ball as much as possible. Yeah. And obviously trying to create more chances than we did on Tuesday. So, yeah, certainly an opportunity to put things right again.
Yeah, absolutely. And in perfect conditions. It sounds a bit cliche, doesn't it? I said it's the first weekend of December. It is cold, but look, it's a blue sky, and from your own playing days, you must love getting out there in a game like this.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's not very windy. It's nice, still conditions. The pitch, as always, is looking lovely. So perfect kind of opportunity to, again, get the ball down on the floor and play a bit of football and show what kind of Shuey wants this team to be playing like.
Yeah, absolutely. And how important in front of what will be, I'm sure, a packed-out home park is it to make a fast start, particularly against a team with the pedigree of Stoke City, who have had a bit of indifferent form recently. Is it important, do you think, Argyle come out and put in a performance early doors?
Yeah, definitely, and I think it's about getting on the front foot and trying to show again this crowd what the football is all about here. And we've got exciting players, and when you get them on the ball, it gets the crowd behind them, and when it's noisy in here, it obviously spurs the boys on the pitch. So we need to get out of the traps as quick as we can today, try and get on top in the game nice and early, and I think if we do that, Stoke will struggle to get themselves back into the game. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, speaking of boys on the pitch, we do have the team news through, so we'll take a look at that in just a moment. But in case you weren't aware, today is a designated Project 35 fixture. What that means, well, there's collections positioned here at Home Park outside the ground for supporters to donate to. We'll actually be hearing a little bit more about that from Alice Young from the Argyle Community Trust. She'll be with us shortly, as will Ben Corson from Ginsters, to have a little bit of chat about all the difference they're making here locally in Plymouth. But as for the football I should say, let's take a look, shall we, and see who will be playing for both teams today. We will start with Argyle then, so it should be coming up on your screen any moment. And as you can see then, in between the sticks, making his 150th appearance for the club today is Michael Cooper. Ballymumba is also in the team. Captain Jordan Horton. Dan Scarr, number 6, is there, of course. Morgan Whitaker, who scored that fantastic goal last week. We'll be hoping for more of the same today. Mustafa Bundu is back in the team. Lewis Gibson, Finn Azaz, Brendan Galloway is returned and recalled. Luke Cundall and Kane Kessler-Hayden make up the starting 11. And of course the substitutes there as well. We can name through as we go through. Joe Edwards, of course, 200th appearance during the week, but is among the bench today. Anything to caught your eye there, Katie?
Well, there's obviously a few changes from Tuesday night. I think we expected that after kind of a settled side from the weekend. So it's, I think, Mustafa Bundu up top instead of Ben Waine is probably the one thing that sort of jumps out, really. I think Bundu's more of a presence up there than Ben Waine. He's athletic and he's, he can give you a little bit of both. So where you lose kind of Hardy's running in behind, he gives you a little bit of that. He's pacey, and he likes to run at players with the ball, but also he's got that kind of aerial presence to be able to hold the ball up and allow the, Mumba from one side, Whitaker from the other side to join in. Luke Cundall's been great recently, really starting to show his prowess as well. So, another attacking lineup with good options for Argyle. So, exciting to see what they've got about them today.
Yeah, absolutely. It's such a dynamic attacking front three, particularly in those forward areas. And of course, one particular name on the substitutes bench there that will be pleasing to the Argyle fans, Ryan Hardy. Is back there.
And great to have him back for sure. A lot of the way Argyle play is about, can Ryan Hardy stretch things and get in behind their opposition defences, makes them drop off a little bit, creates a space for then the likes of Morgan Whitaker, Ballymumba to pick up the ball in those areas in behind. So, great that he's obviously back from injury and another option for Shuey off the bench if needed. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, look, of course, we are facing Stoke City here at Home Park today. Let's take a look then at how they line up this afternoon. In between the sticks, Jack Bonham is in goal. They're also joined today. They've got Lyndon Gooch in the side. Ben Pearson, the danger man, of course. Top goal scorer, I believe. Andre Vidigal. Tyrese Campbell. Kiana Hoover. Ryan May. Ben Juno. Number 23, Luke McNally. 26, Kieran Clark. And their captain this afternoon is Josh Lawrence. And of course, among the substitutes there, they have a few familiar names, no doubt, for those who maybe have followed Premier League teams. We know Stoke City, have that pedigree, but any particular names there that you're looking at that lineup thinking, well, they're going to be a particular one to watch this afternoon?
Yeah, I think you mentioned Vidigal there, didn't you? He's their top scorer. I think he's only got 4 goals so far this season, and I don't think he's actually scored since September in the league. But a player who's dangerous, likes to get on the ball, technical ability is good. He's got decent footwork and someone who will be lively and will need to be aware of for sure. Obviously, you look at kind of the pedigree they've got there. They've got a lot of players with, as you said, Premier League experience. So, Kieran Clark's played a lot of games in the Premier League for Aston Villa, for Newcastle. Players that have played a lot of games at this level. So they've got quality all throughout the side, and they're going to be a difficult side to break down today.
And I'm just curious, how much does that account for when you're on the pitch as an Argyle player or in the team? When you're coming up against a team like Stoke, who have players of such experience. It's not anything to be intimidated by necessarily, but something to be aware of.
Yeah, and I think you're always wary. And the thing is, in this league, those teams come thick and fast, don't they? There's a lot of teams who've got that Premier League experience, that Premier League pedigree. So, as much as Stoke is a big name when you think about football, they obviously spent a long time in the Premier League, but Argyle want to be up there fighting against these sorts of teams and testing themselves against it, because ultimately, if you're playing teams like Stoke week in, week out, you're going to get better. And progress-wise, on the pitch, off the pitch, that's sort of what you're aiming for.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll come on to perhaps go through what we can expect from today's fixture in a bit more detail shortly. But it was only 7 days ago that, of course, we were talking about the players having a well-earned rest during the international break. Fast forward to today, and I think they've played, this will be their third game in 7 days. So the fixture's very much coming thick and fast. The question, of course, for our manager, Steven Schumacher, how does he cope with that workload?
It's really hard physically, especially at this level that we're playing at now. The game's just so intense. You have to sort of be mindful of what your training sessions look like. You have to be cautious of the load that you put on to the players. So today, for example, some of the starting players who played didn't even go out onto the grass. They had an extra day's recovery. We didn't get back from Coventry until 3:20 in the morning. So you have to be mindful and cautious about that, and then prioritise what you think's important. So for us, it'll be a bit more video preparation and video analysis rather than today's session on the grass. So we sacrifice that and we get the players back on the grass tomorrow and just try and keep everybody as fresh as possible.
Because they are, Tuesday was another example of it, but it will be the same on Saturday. You mentioned this level we're playing at. The quality is there, so high. And the intensity is so high as well, isn't it? Yeah,
the physicality of all the teams is it's really impressive actually. Like everybody who you come up against, I remember looking at games last season. We would highlight certain players. You think, look, you can get at him. You might be able to get down the sides physically. We can get the better of them. But at this level, there's not many players like that where you can say, look, we're going to have an advantage. So we're up against it, and I think the players are doing brilliantly from that point of view. Though I think the work that Elliot does with the lads to get us into condition is excellent, and people have commented on how fit and how energetic we are as a team, so we need to keep that going for as long as possible. Our squad isn't as big as a lot of the other teams, but we've got to do as best as we can.
I want to ask you about your thoughts on the tightness of this division. Now, prime example of that was on Tuesday. So Coventry, who started just below us, so got the win, went up to 15th in the table. A huge jump, I think, went up 6 places. And if we win on Saturday against Stoke, we could go up to the exact same spot again. It's, I suppose, just looking at a league table does not tell the story of how the season's going, does it?
No, and I remember it was very similar last year. If you put back-to-back wins together, you can go from being in the bottom half, maybe like 16, 17, to just outside the top 6. It was so close and so competitive, and all the games are like that. You only have to look at Stoke's form. Went 4 unbeaten, 2 good wins, 2 draws, and I've lost 2. It's unpredictable. I think every team has players that can hurt you. Every team have got, the ability and the capability of putting runs together, but also if they're not quite at it and they have a little bit of a bit of bad luck or whatever, can go 2 or 3 games without a win. So it's important that you stay calm no matter what happens. If you win a game, brilliant. If you don't win a game, then it's not to be, you can't be too down. You've just got to focus on the next one, because we can all see it is so tight, and yet one result can change a lot.
You just mentioned Stoke there. How do you kind of see them at this moment in time heading into Saturday?
obviously come off the back of two bad results, so I think they'll be desperate to come here and put that right. It's a squad that's had a lot of turnover in players. I think I counted on Sam's booklet that he gave me the other day. I think they had 19 players in over the summer and 13 players out, so that's a huge turnaround, and maybe that's the reason of why they are where they are in the league. It's obviously a big change, but I look at throughout this squad and the names that he brought in, again, it's got full of quality, it's got full of people who've got, some have got Premier League experience, it's got loads of lads who've got a lot of Championship experience, and there's a few players who are a little bit of an unknown as well, so they're coming here, we have to give them full respect. It's Stoke City who once, not so long ago, Premier League team, so we have to come here and give them full respect, but impose ourselves where we can.
And that was the manager there, Steven Schumacher, talking to us earlier in the week about the hectic fixture list that, of course, comes with the territory in football at Christmas time. Do you remember that as a player, of course, thinking about this time of year and how those fixtures thick and fast, aren't they? Yeah,
it was always slightly different in the women's game. You had a little bit of a period off over sort of Christmas and New Year, but obviously these players are very used to it, aren't they? And you know, ultimately as a footballer, you want to be playing games and you want to be out there on the pitch. So as much as it's a heavy schedule, you know, recovery and that sort of stuff's obviously really important between games, but you know, these boys are here to play football, and that's what they want to be doing as much as they can. Yeah, absolutely, and maybe that's a thing that the men's game could learn from the women's in many ways as a break at Christmas. I'm sure some managers would like it, but like you say, for the players, this is what they love, isn't it? Coming out here, especially in front of a packed out home park as it is today, we can see a lot of the stands just starting to fill up, a few bovrils in hand and pasties to keep warm, but as I say, when we talk about a busy schedule, it's injuries that are the main concern for any manager, but with Hardy back in the on the bench, I mean, and Bundu back in the starting lineup, things are looking all right for Argyle at the moment, aren't they? Yeah, and I think a lot of it as the season progresses. You know, you're playing in a league that's tough. It's, you know, hard work. The players are going to get fatigued as the season goes on, and I think for Steven Schumacher, a large part of his job is managing that squad as best as he can, and you know, that rotation and getting players rested as much as they can when he can. Obviously having players free from injury allows you to have that squad that you can then pick from. I think that was the importance of the recruitment in the summer, was to allow him to have a big squad where everybody could play their part. And that's certainly what's happened so far. So, yeah, great to have, you know, the likes of Hardy back in from injury. Obviously, Galloway's been out for a long time and comes back in today. So, good to see these players returning, and hopefully they can stay fit over the busy period coming up. Absolutely. Well, look, here they are coming out at Home Park. Appreciate you won't be able to see it just yet. We'll bring you pictures when we can, but the fans applauding as they come out onto the pitch. And it's not just physical as well, but I'm curious as well, players on the bench have to be mentally ready for that call-up at any moment, don't they? Yeah, definitely, and you know, they don't want to be on the bench, they want to be starting as much as they can, so you know, it's coming on and showing what you're capable of, and you know, trying to get yourself a place in the starting lineup for the following week. So yeah, it's definitely important to be ready. You know, you could be called upon at any time, so yeah, making sure that they're ready to go, and raring to come on and show what they can do. Yeah, absolutely. Well, of course, today is a Project 35 fixture. As we've said earlier on in the show, we'll be coming to hear about a little bit more about that project with Alice Young, who's going to be joining us from the Community Trust, and also Ben Corson from Ginsters will be here momentarily. You are watching Argyle TV here today as we head and count down to kick-off at 3 p.m. Of course, our opponents today, Stoke City. The first time, can you believe it, in 16 years that these two sides have faced each other. Still plenty of build-up to come, so don't go anywhere. We'll see you shortly.
There's nothing like the start to a new season. The energy, the anticipation, the expectation. You know that buzz in the air. You can feel it. It's going to be our year. It's going to be different this time. It needs to be, for all of us. The emotions of the game get to us all. I know all about that. But whether out on the pitch, in the stands, or on the sidelines, we've all got to do better at all levels. No more surrounding refs, no more abuse, no more intimidation, no more discrimination. Leave the pitch to the players. And those offensive chants, you know the ones. there's never a place for them in the game we love. That beautiful feeling at the start of a new season. Don't ruin it. Let's keep it that way, together. Whether you win, lose or draw, let's make sure that this season is different. We all do it for the love of the game. Let's show our pride and passion in the right way. We all love football, so let's protect the game.
Hello again, welcome back to the coverage here on Argyle TV. It's about 20 past 2, so about 40 minutes to go until kick-off here against Stoke City. And as I said, starting to fill up a little bit. The atmosphere's starting to build, isn't it?
Yeah, we know what this crowd's like once they get going. You know, the support from the Argyle fans for both home and away fixtures this season has been unbelievable. So, you know, sold out pretty much every game this season here at Home Park, and obviously the travelling fans have been great as well. So yeah, you can see around us it's starting to fill up now. The mascots are coming past us now. And it's all about inspiring these guys to want to keep coming back and watch these guys playing on the pitch. So. Yeah,
absolutely. And I suppose one big plus about us being back in the Championship has been a welcome return to travelling fans, of course. And we know that certain clubs bring numbers, but in the Championship, it's been quite refreshing to see, obviously, a packed-out away end as well as the home fans.
Yeah, and I think it adds to the atmosphere here, doesn't it? When you know, you've got thousands of fans down that end screaming for their away side, and obviously, you know, 15,000 Argyle fans in here chanting for their team. So yeah, it brings a different kind of atmosphere, and again, it's, you know, it gets the players going on the pitch, doesn't it, when you hear that sort of rivalry in the crowd, and you want to go out and show them what you can do on the pitch, and ultimately pick up points and get results. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, of course, it goes both ways. When you've got a packed out fans in front of you, it can be, I don't know, I think as a player here, can that ever be a little bit intimidating? Can those be conditions that are difficult to adjust to?
I think it's one of those things that you get used to, isn't it? And I think, you know, the players appreciate the fans being here. You know, there have been seasons in the past, as Argyle fans will well know, the quality of football hasn't been as good as it is now, and you know, that's the improvement in the quality has helped to get fans through the gates. Absolutely. And you know, there are people here watching because Argyle play good football and are an exciting team to watch. So I think, you know, they shouldn't be intimidated by it. They should see it as an opportunity to show what they can do. And yeah, we've spoken about it before, but you know, Shuey wants them to get the ball down. He wants them to play attractive football, and that's what the fans pay their money to come and see. So like I said, hopefully we see that again today.
Yeah, absolutely. And I suppose looking and hoping for a better performance than Tuesday. I'm just going to pause ever so slightly because I think we're about to be joined by someone else here on Argyle TV. It's not quite who we were expecting from the Community Trust, but Pilgrim Pete, score prediction? I think that was 3-0, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There we have it. Pilgrim Pete has called it 3-0 here on Argyle TV. I mean, I'm always wary of pre-match score predictions. I don't want to jinx anything, so I'm not going to give mine. But if you were looking at this today, we know Stoke have struggled for form. I don't think we can deny that. But can I push you maybe for a prediction?
I think it might be 2-1 to Argyle today. I think it's two teams who have been inconsistent at best, I would say, and you know, these are the teams that if we want to be moving up the table, we need to be trying to beat. It's all about picking up points, you know, with the teams around you in the table, and if we win today, we can leapfrog Stoke. So it's all about trying to, you know, beat those teams who might potentially be your rivals come the end of the season when you look at the league table. I think it'll be tight, but yeah, I'm going to go a 2-1 Argyle. 2-1
Argyle. Well, we'll take it, won't it? To be honest, after Tuesday night, we'd probably just take a scrappy 1-0 win ourselves,
anything
right?
will do. 3 points.
Absolutely.
I'm more than happy.
Absolutely. And just one more question, then we'll get on to the next part of the content here on Argyle TV. Just, you know, Tuesday was a disappointment, wasn't it? We know the away form's not quite been there this season. Home Park, this is where we can really pick up the points, isn't it? And I think, are you looking maybe to see hopefully the players don't carry anything through from Tuesday night? That's the main thing you want to see.
Yeah, I think all season this season it's been, you know, a case of you've had a bad result, but actually the reaction to that has always been really good. And there's rarely been a run of consecutive defeats over the last couple of seasons. So we certainly want a reaction today. They know the performance wasn't good enough. You look at Shuey's interviews after the game, he said the same thing. Just the quality wasn't there on the night. So we need to show today what we're all about. If we can have a similar performance to last Saturday here against Sunderland, then everyone will go home happy today, and hopefully another 3 points on the board.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, there's plenty more to come still here on Argyle TV just after this short VT.
A shared passion and commitment. 12,000 miles across the season. Unforgettable memories. Past players, the goals. Waiting players, supporters, young and old. Capturing the moment, living the dream. Green Army, belting out the Janusol. The stands, the shirts, the drum beats. The surging crowd moving as a giant wave. Crusaders, one and all. The Green Army.
Right then, well, let's take a look, of course, about a certain individual in the squad today who marked 200 league appearances for Plymouth Argyle, or 200 appearances, I should say, for the club. Tuesday night, of course, I'm talking about Joe Edwards, our skipper, Mr. Incredible in many ways. That's an incredible achievement, isn't it, to have got to that number for any one club? Yeah, fantastic. And I think Joe's a big part of kind of the progress that the club have made over the last couple of seasons here at Home Park, and fantastic for him to make 200 appearances. Obviously, it wasn't the result that he wanted on Tuesday night, but I think Joe's kind of the epitome of what Plymouth Argyle is all about. It's he plays with so much heart, so much passion all the time, and I think sometimes when he's not on the pitch, you miss that drive that he brings and that enthusiasm. And he's obviously the captain, he's the leader of the pack, so fantastic for him as an individual, and fantastic for the club that he's been here for that long. Yeah, absolutely. Well, we've got a video to play very shortly which will reflect on all of Joe's time here at the club. I was reading the matchday programme actually just upon arrival. I think he joined after we were relegated down to League Two, so his time here has been one of 2 promotions. But here, taking a look back at all of Joe's time at the club, is this short video. Enjoy.
First of all, he's a little tiny man, but in all seriousness, he's a great captain. He's a leader on and off the pitch. The things he does behind the scenes goes a bit unnoticed, but his work on the pitch, it's plenty to see. He's a great guy to learn off, and just all round he's a good leader, good captain, and coming up to 200 games, it's some achievement for the club.
This journey I've had through Argyle has been the best of my career by far. Playing wise, and just like I said, the success that we've had was something that we wanted and something that we set out to achieve. Maybe not in the time frame, but we've done it, and it's been a fantastic 4 or 5 years now.
Obviously, he's been here. This is his 5th season now, I believe. And when a player comes and joins, you don't ever think that they would, maybe stay as long as he has or become captain. And go on to make 200 games, and you can see as the years have gone on how much he's grown into like the captain role of Argyle, and just become a real leader in the dressing room. And he takes great pride putting on the shirt, and I can tell that he loves playing for the club.
He's top draw. I think from the second you walk into the club, you see the kind of respect he has, not just from the lads but the staff and the fans. And he'll obviously go down as a legend at the club with 2 promotions now.
and hopefully I know he's got plenty more years because I see him running up and down the pitch, covering the most distance every week. So yeah, he's got plenty more left in him.
My favourite ever moment was the goal at Port Vale, which you can imagine for obvious reasons, but that feeling I'll probably never ever get again, of scoring in front of our away fans to win the league was, like I said, something I'll never forget.
Joe's been a mixture of things. He's been entertaining, he's been obviously a leader, he's been a goal scorer at times, he's been a very important part of the team, both on the pitch and off the pitch, I think.
When you're a kid and you want to play football is obviously the dream, but to have an opportunity to lead a club like Argyle, not just on the pitch, off the pitch. So I mean, there's numerous things that goes on above and beyond on the pitch, and I really enjoy that aspect, and I'm honoured to be able to do that. We've had some brilliant players in my time, and we've got another brilliant group, and I'm sure we'll see them go off and do different things in their careers, and to be a part of the history of this club and be captain of it is something I'll be extremely proud of looking back, and something I know my family are proud of listening and looking in. And yeah, listen, it's something that I'll always cherish, and I'm sure they do, but I hope the fans realise how much it means to me.
Well, look, as you can see, myself and Katie are joined here by two other individuals that we told you about a little bit earlier on the show. Of course, today is a designated Project 35 fixture, which means there is a real focus on all the charity and collection hubs that have been set up around Home Park here today for supporters to donate any extra food that they well have. And of course, that will then be distributed to communities here in the city. It's a fantastic cause, and here to talk about it a little bit more and how much it has really helped those in need, we have Alice Young from the Argyle Community Trust, who's here with us, and alongside Alice this afternoon we have Ben Corson from Ginsters, who are joint partners with Argyle on Project 35. So thanks first and foremost for finding the time, and we know how busy you are to join us here pitchside before the match today. Alice, let me start with you. Just tell those watching along, what Project 35 is and what's going on outside the ground today.
Yeah, so it's basically Argyle Community Trust's social action initiative. So lots of different projects come within Project 35 around education, fundraising, raising awareness. And yeah, we've now been doing it in the second season, so it's going really well, and it's being really well received by the fans actually, and just speaking to some today outside is really lovely, and seeing their buy-in and understanding of how the club are working together with the Community Trust, and then how Ginsters are working alongside as well. It's really great.
Yeah, absolutely. And you were just saying as well, weren't you, this is our third collection, and already you can see how much better organised things are. The fans know exactly what this involves. What does that mean to you to see, obviously, just the sort of momentum that's been gained with this project?
Yeah, I mean, that just sums it up. Like the third one today, people are kind of recognising it a little bit more, even more so now that we've got our pink gazebo that's outside the stadium. People know that they can come over and chat to us, whether they want a bit of advice about what we're doing, whether they do want some support from us maybe, and how they can support us. And all of our volunteers through Pledge 35 have come through as fans, so that's like the reason that's kind of just grown and been really successful.
Absolutely. And can you again just tell us, where exactly all of that food is going to be taken, and who exactly benefits from the donations from fans here today?
Yeah, so the food is being packaged up right now. The volunteers are doing an amazing job. It's very organised. The food's going to, first of all, go over to one of our sites at Managerial Sports and Community Hub, where it's going to be organised again, weighed, so we can track how much we've raised. And then we've got our food larder there that runs every Friday, so we're supporting about 160 families every week that are coming in to access that food larder. So always running low on tins, so that's going to help to restock that. And anything that's kind of running low, we're going to use the money that's been fundraised to go and buy more. and then if we've got any extra kind of food that's not needed maybe by the larder and we can go and help the food network around Plymouth, that will get donated to other food banks around Plymouth. So we're already in contact with a lot of them, and we're going to kind of sort that out on Monday and get that out to them to help them. So yeah, should be good.
Fantastic. Well, I'm going to maybe ask Katie to lean in for the microphone here for yourself, Ben, from Ginsters. Do you want to maybe just tell the fans here, of course, about that relationship between Argyle? It's a special one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's massive. Obviously, we've been involved with the club for a long time. I think more recently, what became apparent, being a Southwest business wanting to great in the Southwest, we came across some pretty appalling stats actually, that 35% of kids in the Plymouth and Cornwall area live in poverty, food poverty in particular. And we as a food-based business want to make a difference to the local community.
Yeah, and hence obviously Project 35. Did you have a question as well, Katie? No. But I was just going to say Christmas, we know we're coming into December today, of course, or yesterday it started. This is a particularly difficult time, isn't it, for those that are in need?
Absolutely. I mean, even you've got to look at the temperatures today, it's freezing cold. It's not just about the 35% children that live in food poverty, but there's also a lot of people who live in temporary accommodation as well. So, as we come in the run-up to Christmas, through the volunteers and the time that's been pledged to Project 35, we're looking to get many food hampers out for people at Christmas, and also just give away as much of the food that we've collected so that people don't go without.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, of course, one of the initiatives that Project 35 has introduced is the Healthy Habits programme, which is a way of activating change through food. Here's a little bit more on the details.
The Healthy Habits programme is being delivered as part of Project 35 in partnership with Ginsters, activating change through food. We're here at Horrobridge. We've been working with our Year 5 students that have been taking part in the Healthy Habits programme as part of Project 35. So today it was really a case of wrapping up their social action project and seeing them working in action and delivering the food that they donated to a community project that they'd highlighted. The aim of Healthy Habits is to empower young people to support their community and learn about food support. It's split into two elements. So we have the 45 minutes where they're in the classroom learning about food support and education around food, and then the second half of the lesson is around activity and sports.
We have been planning a fundraiser for fruit and veg that we are going to give out to people that can't really afford food at the moment, and maybe people that really need it.
I joined because I thought it would be a fun thing, and also I would like to help the community.
I feel excited because we get to help people, and if they don't have any food, we just get to help them. It's just tougher getting through the summer, so we just need to really help some people.
When I had a phone call from Mr. Clark to say that the children had chosen the food bank, which is who Horrobridge Love Your Neighbour partner with, I was just really surprised to hear that the children had chosen us as a community support for the fruit and vegetables to go and share them out into the community. We've got a lot to learn from these children. I think it's absolutely incredible just listening to them about the 5-week, 6-week process that they've been on, the friendships that they've created, the choices that they've made, the thought that they've thought about other people and the needs of others in the community. And then to come up with that idea, which is so fun and easy to do, dressing up, bringing fruit and vegetables, I think it's just amazing. Future leaders.
Yeah, it's massively important, any way that the trust in the community can, put on sessions like this, get a few of us down, it's only going to be beneficial for the kids taking part. It's going to just be beneficial for the whole community and the city in general, and the club, just going hand in hand with these sort of events, it's only a good thing.
Well, as you can see, Alice and Ben have now left us here on Argyle TV, hopefully to find their seats before kick-off. The countdown well and truly on, and if you want any more information on that Healthy Habits programme or any of the Project 35 initiatives, then head on over to the Project 35 website. You can find that at pafc.co.uk/Project 35.
The away day. a shared passion and commitment. 12,000 miles across the season. Unforgettable memories, past players, the goals. Waiting players, supporters, young and old. Capturing the moment, living the dream. Green Army, belting out the genocide. The stands, the shirts, the drum beats, the surging crowd moving as a giant wave. Crusaders, one and all. The Green Army.
Right then, let's turn our attention to Stoke City for a moment. As we've said, it's been a bit of an up and down season for them so far. They've struggled for form and consistency, but they of course know a good run of results in their favour could take them a long way in the table here in the Championship. Here's their manager, Alex Neil.
I think the performance when we had 11 players versus 11 players, I thought we'd made a couple of errors probably at the back, maybe in the first half we could have done better with, but I thought we looked threatening going the other way. And they equally made a couple of errors going backwards that gave us a couple of opportunities. But I thought we came out, started the second half. I thought the first half, I thought we shaded it. I thought we were better. Got ourselves back on level terms. And then I thought the second half, I thought we started really brightly. You know, and then obviously the sending off happens. And then I thought our response to the sending off was really good, which was positive. And then just, albeit we felt as if there was some decisions in the game that went against us and were unjust, we still contributed ourselves to some of that our own downfall, you know, which we need to eliminate, because I think that's probably the frustration that I took out of the game in terms of at that 2-1 moment when we get the second goal with 10 men. I didn't feel under pressure. I've had 10 men before a lot of times, and a lot of times you're thinking your goal's getting peppered and you need to see it through and get blocks in. That didn't feel the case for me. I thought there was a couple of individual moments that we just didn't do well enough, and ultimately that's what cost us. And the disappointing thing is, it's a bit like the Blackburn game. For large spells of the game, we've done all right, and then at the end, the fourth goal sort of left the game with a bit of bitter taste.
So on to Plymouth, who'll obviously be looking to hit a wounded animal. But you've conceded 7 goals in 2 games. You've obviously got to defend better. How do you see the Plymouth game panning out?
I think Plymouth, through what I've seen of them, and I think the results would suggest it, I think they're a really good side. I think they're really well coached. I think they've got some good, exciting players at the top end of the pitch. I think Lad Whittaker's had a really good season so far. Finnazaz has done really well. I think they've missed Hardy, but they've got the boy Ben Wayne, who's a well and stretch. They've got Ballymoonba off a side, who's quick and dynamic. So they've got some good players in the team. And I think that at home in particular, they've been very strong. I think obviously on their travels they've maybe not picked up as many points as they would like. And I always think when their teams come up, and I've sampled that myself, you go into it with a real freshness in attacking the league, because there's maybe not as much expectancy on you for your own sort of club and own fans as what maybe other teams would be, because you've just come into the division, and there's an element of freshness about going and attacking each game and making sure you try and win.
And that was Stoke City manager Alex Neil speaking to the press a little bit earlier this week. You can almost sense some of the frustration in his voice there as a manager of a team that are, you know, a bit, struggling is probably the only word you could really use for describe it. 1 win, I think, in their last 5 coming here today.
Yeah, I think they were a side that went on a fairly good run, unbeaten in 5, had a couple of draws, and then have lost their last couple of games. And I think the big thing to look at is when you look at their recent losses, the goals they've conceded have been quite late on in games. So I think, you know, that's something that we'll be wary of today. And, you know, if things aren't necessarily going your way, actually they're a little bit vulnerable in those sort of later stages of a game. And you know, can we take advantage of that if things, as I say, aren't going our way?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just keeping one eye on the pitch here because we've got footballs flying and a few wayward shots to contend with. But let's just continue to think about Stoke for a moment, because the bottom of that table in the Championship, of course, Argyle in amongst it, and they obviously QPR were playing against Stoke the other day. They're down there. They picked up a win last night, I believe. So points matter at this time of the season, don't they?
Yeah, definitely. And when the games are coming thick and fast like they are at the moment, it's important to pick up points when you can. And like I said earlier, it's those teams around you that you really want to try and beat. You know, obviously you get points, but it means they don't pick up points at the same time. So today is an important game. I think, like we said, off the back of Tuesday and a poor performance, a poor result, we'll be looking to get positives out of today's game and hopefully to get an all-important 3 points on the board again.
Yeah, absolutely. We can hear the home crowd here, can't you? Some of them here right by the hoardings cheering the Argyle players as they go through what looks like the last of the warm-up. I think we're safe for now from any footballs. They're being put back in the bags, but we are, as you can tell, getting closer and closer to kick-off here at Home Park today. A gentle reminder that you can, of course, watch all the action along here today on Argyle TV. Match passes for streaming and audio commentary of the match. They're available to purchase right now on our website, so go check it out. Coming up after this, though, we will complete our match day build-up.
Let's get it poppin', I'm looking away. Go tell mother I'm cooking the game. Flow like water bubbling up where you want me to make. Taking you back in the day, feeling immaculate, mate. Action packed back to back while you yapping away. I got a knack to react, but I'm packing a grace. Up to the max with a fact, let me grab the space. I had a map the place, you got a laughing face. Long and strong, looking like a stack full of hate. It goes on and on, way to the back of the bank. This phenomenon's on, I don't even have to say. I'm where I belong, this not back in the, you know. I go where I wanna, a fair warning for anybody with hair on them. You can't stop me against sloppy.
Yes, well, look, we've got a few minutes, haven't we, to the match, so we'll kick off later here at 3 p.m. today. Let's just take a look and a reminder, both sets of teams now. And we'll start with Plymouth. Argyle should be coming up on your screen any moment now. In between the six, then, making his 150th league appearance for the club is Michael Cooper. Completing the lineup, thank you, is Ballymumba captain Jordan Horton, Dan Scarr, Morgan Whittaker, of course, hoping to continue his impressive run of goal-scoring form. Mustafa Bundu recalled to the starting lineup. Lewis Gibson, Finn Azaz, Brendan Galloway back in the starting 11 today. Luke Cundall and Kane Kessler-Hayden are your starting squad here today for Plymouth Argyle. Look, final word from you, Katie, regarding our starting lineup. Who's maybe caught your eye and who do you think can make the difference?
I think it's important that we're solid defensively today. I think one of the positives to come out of the game on Tuesday night against Coventry was that we were difficult to break down. So we'll be looking to do that again today. But like I said earlier, I think Bundy's going to be really important for us today, and how well he holds the ball up and allows those more influential players to get on the ball. Yeah, absolutely. And let's take a look at the Stoke side as well. How are they going to be shaping up this afternoon? Here is the Potters 11 in goal. Jack Bonham, Lyndon Gooch, number 2, number 4, Ben Pearson, number 7, their top goal scorer this season, Andre Vidigal, Tyrese Campbell, Kai Yana Hoover, Ryan May, Ben Juno, Luke McNally, Kieran Clark, and number 28, Josh Lauren, is their captain this afternoon. We've talked about it already in build-up, but a team of a few ex-Premier League stars there, certainly a team of pedigree. Yeah, and a team that can cause other teams trouble on their day, and it's about us nullifying those threats as much as we possibly can today. Like I said, making sure we're at it defensively. They've got players that are dangerous, so can we stop them getting on the ball? Can we stop them building any confidence as the game moves on? And hopefully get on top in the game nice and early and just quieten down those Stoke fans down the other end. Absolutely. Well, if it's not footballs we're keeping an eye out, it's the sprinklers. They just seem to have come on. So perhaps this is a good time to get a final word from the Argyle camp ahead of the 3 o'clock kickoff this afternoon. First team coach Kevin Nanskiville has been speaking to our very own Charlie Price.
Nance, 3 changes from Tuesday. Talk us through them.
Yeah, so Brendan comes in for Joe, Mustafa comes in for Wayno, and Skazi comes in for Pleggy.
Brilliant. So first start of the season for Brendan Galloway. It must be nice to have him back in the squad and able to play. Yeah, brilliant. He's been training now for 3 or 4 weeks. He looks fit, he's fresh, and he's good to go. He's worked really hard to get back to this stage, so we're delighted to have him in the team. Moose starting, which is good news after a couple of sub-appearances, and also, having had a little look through the team, Ryan Hardy on the bench as well. Yeah. So great at this stage of the season with so many games to have those attacking options back again now, isn't it? Yeah, massive boost for us. Wayne was done terrific the last 2 games. He's run his legs off up there on his own many times. So to have Mustafa back in and Ryan back on the bench, like you said, with so many games coming up over the Christmas period, it's a fantastic boost for us. Yeah, it's an opportunity today, I imagine, against a side that's in and around us to make some ground. And like we've seen so many times this season, when you play at Home Park, there does seem to be some sort of extra thing. Yeah. Hoping for the same again today? Yeah, I hope so. Again, they're a good team, but we've said that every week, and I'm sure we'll be saying it every week till the end of the season, so we know what challenges we're going to get. I hope the crowd really get behind us. We'll certainly give them something to cheer about in our work rate and our endeavour, and hopefully that
culminates in 3 points.
Well, that was first team coach Kevin Nanskiville speaking to Argyle TV earlier in the week. Well, look, it's about 10 minutes, I think, until kick-off. I think the music's just about turned up a notch, hasn't it? I can certainly hear the fans in my other ear here, this side. But maybe a final word from yourself then, Katie. We said at the start what we're wary of in terms of the Stoke team, but from an Argyle perspective, you know, this is an opportunity, isn't it?
Yeah, an opportunity to pick up a positive result, an opportunity to get 3 points and to move up the league, and an opportunity to show these fans that are in the stadium again what Plymouth Argyle are all about currently. And you know, like I said, we want to get those players who can make a difference on the ball in those attacking areas. You know, Morgan Whittaker's been fantastic this season, top scorer with 8 goals, been really influential. Didn't have a great game on Tuesday, he'll be looking to put things right today. You know, Barley Mumba's been quiet in recent weeks, so you know, hoping for some big performances from those guys. And then, like we spoke about before, I think Luke Cundall's really come into his own in the last couple of weeks and has started to show his quality. So yeah, if we can get those players on the ball, you know, we can hopefully.
Who knows what can happen?
Yeah, and give these fans something to cheer about and get excited about.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, this feels like a poignant time to prepare to hand over to our commentary team here today. Of course, Argyle not the only side in action in the Championship. We'll bring you all of the action and the scores when we can, and we get those through at half-time. But yeah, I think we're pretty much ready to get going here on Argyle TV. So thank you very much for watching along to this point. Of course, the match action is what you're really waiting for. We'll be handing over very shortly. A reminder, match passes can still be purchased if you haven't got one already. They can be found on our website. But I think they're primed and ready. It's Charlie Price and Aaron Cusack. They're standing by to bring you all of the action here at a packed out home park as Argyle take on Stoke City next.